Hey, y'all. So, we are here to talk about an old school principle that's super easy to do now and start making money quickly. And what's really cool about this is it's going to also teach you how to focus on value and what giving value and focusing on content can do to increase your bottom line. I mean, if you're like a copywriter and you're making 10K a month, what I'm about to talk about can easily replace your income. I mean, fast. And as I think it said in the copy, a quote from Joe Biden. No joke. I'm serious. No, I'm serious. This can replace your income quickly. So how and why? And how do you do it? Good question. So, let's get into it. Number one, it's all about creating an ebook, a guide, giving away a binaural beat. And I'm going to explain how all that looks. Hold on a second. Let me just show you something from the screen. Now, this, make sure it's showing. Yep. This is an ebook I wrote like, I don't know how many years ago at this point, a long time ago, in a past life. After my past wife experience, but still in a past life. And this is just going into the mitochondrial energy in of a cell and why we age, and then helping people understand how they can start taking control over their mitochondrial aging, and helping people understand the gut, how to eat, not what to eat necessarily, but how to eat. And then giving them recipes that will help get them to give them the nutrients that achieve mitochondrial repair, regeneration, yada, yada, yada. Over here, the other day, I showed this. Make sure that's showing. Yes. So over here, I showed this the other day, and I did this from a chat GPT prompt process. I made a video about it the other day. I am going to go a little bit more into it today just to show excuse me, just to show another example. But this is curated with me giving prompts, then rewriting, writing original, reprompting, rinse and repeat until I got something here that I feel like, oh, yeah, I can do something with this. It makes sense, right? Um, so once I have the ebook, and I also make sure, and I should have, and I can still, and I will still, there are tips at the end, to, help give you ideas. Wait a minute. That might have been a different one that I did that. I've done so many of these recently. This one, then you get into the actual product, that you're selling. If you're selling a product, you don't have to, not necessary, but you can. So, okay, this is a product in and of itself. $7. It's $9. It's $19. Whatever. This is a product. Now, why do a tripwire versus a lead mag? Lead mag being free, tripwire being you're asking for some energy, some money for what you're creating. Now, because you're asking for energy, you're not just giving something away for free. You got to go above and beyond to make sure that what you create is worth my money and my email. Now, I can do this as a lead mag and spend money, build my lists, rent out those, curate those lists, rent out those curated lists that I've gotten metrics on. Maybe I ran my own offers. Maybe I ran a few other people's offers, whatever. Maybe I did some affiliate stuff, whatever, just to get some metrics. And I can get all that done in a day or two, start getting those metrics. So this is super easy to put together. Let's just go over here. While we're talking about a product, because if you're gonna give people something, make sure it's better than what they can buy on the bestseller list on Amazon, right? This has got to be the real deal. But once you get all of these emails, and they're going to be emails that are built on value and valuable content specifically, not just of the old style, which is what we call like a squeeze page or a splash page. They have different names. I'm sure they're still used today, but it was just like headline, bullet, 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 click, right? So very clickbaitish. And then usually getting you to a lead mag or tripwire that didn't have very much value. They just wanted to get your email. They just wanted to get you pixeled, whatever. So direct response has virtually never focused on value. And by focusing on value, when you build these email lists, you're building responsive email lists, and you're going to keep giving them value. You don't need to spend a dime, by the way. But if you do spend a dime, it ain't got to be much. I've used binaural beats as an example. Let's say you want to sell in the manifestation space. You want to get people in the manifestation space, offer owners in the manifestation space. I will get this out to run on your list. Oh my God. Ugh. So what could you give people in the manifestation space that's of value? An ebook, a guide, a workbook, and a binaural beat with guided hypnosis and spatial sound. So, it hits different parts of the brain, so to speak. That's how it feels. So, how much does that cost? Well, you can do it yourself, or you can spend, it's anywhere from $1 to $10, tops, to get a good binaural beat done, that has, like the specific hertz, what that hertz does. So that means knowing more than everybody else in the room, actually doing your 80%. Like if I go over to the chat GPT, what hertz? Yike, hertz donuts. Yeah. Hertz donut. Um, so you start doing your 80%. All right, 4 to 8. I do 7 and different variants, of the 7 hertz, different frequencies within the 7 hertz, right? So then I do 432 hertz, which is the electromagnetism, matching the magnetism of Earth, or 528 hertz, which what people call the heart chakra, um, opening up, getting rid of that anxiety, all this stuff that we hold on to, whether you're spiritual and think of chakras, which I'm not saying I don't spiritual, but I don't believe that we hold things in specific ways. I think every body is different. We can hold on to things anywhere. Pinky. So giving people that binaural, right? Why does adding guided hypnosis on top of a binaural beat tapping into the subconscious help clear the subconscious? All right, let's just okay, so now we're getting some cool information. Let's say, all right, I want to start curating this information about binaural beats and how they can itchy Ichi, ni, san, chi, go. Help clear the subconscious of old limiting beliefs and conditioning. This is the conditioning we get before we're 7 years old. Doesn't matter if it's spelled. I don't know why you even bother. I want to talk about how using specific theta and alpha tones, we can clear the subconscious for new programming. Adding the guided hypnosis can help achieve that. Talk more about that in an ebook introduction. Then I'd love it if you'd outline 7 chapters going into the subconscious and how 95% of our conscious attention is actually driven by the subconscious. So when you clear the subconscious of old limiting beliefs, you can open back up to abundance. Then with the abundance-based hypnosis, we can, in a sense, reprogram the subconscious and change what the conscious sees. Since manifesting is based on attention, in other words, you're always becoming where your attention is right now. And that's driven by the subconscious. Unpack that. Let's see where we initially land, then all further prompt you. Okay, so first of all, you can see that I've already done a lot of my 80% on this, so I can start coming up with shit to prompt. And remember, positioning is the prompt. So anytime that you're prompting GPT from this point moving forward, no matter what you do, feed it the positioning. How are you going to feed it the positioning? You got to do your 80%. You got to ask the right questions. You got to start caring enough to knowing more than everybody else in the room to help the most people. Because then you can tap into people's heuristics, the story they're telling about the problem you're putting in front of them to grab their attention, and then giving a deeper core, mechanizing, new causing why they're still looking for what they're looking for. Just like you would be selling anything. Now, let's say you're running traffic ads. You're not even running conversion ads, and you start getting your pixel trained in this. You want to get, this really trained quickly in what you're relevant in, who you're relevant for, and why. Creative is the prompt. Positioning is the prompt. So creative is the prompt for the Facebook algorithm or YouTube or TikTok, right? And then positioning is the prompt for GPT. So I want you to keep those things in mind. That will change everything that you create. All right. So the subconscious, the hidden driver of your reality, sounds great. Theta waves, the gateway to the subconscious. Early program, open up path to reprogramming. Sounds great. Alpha waves, negative patterns. A few things I want to change there or add to it. In fact, chapter 4, the guided hypnosis. Brainwave entrainment to plant new beliefs. Albans and yep. Sounds good. The science behind manifestation, how attention shapes your reality. That sounds good. I want to rename that. Reprogramming for abundance. Okay, love it. I want to revise a few things. Number one, abundance is our natural state. We have to learn how to resist abundance, which we do before we're 7 years old. That's according to Bruce Lipton, author of Biology of Belief. He's an amazing PhD, and it would be great if you could cite him in the ebook wherever possible. All right. Number 2. What would you do for number 2? Okay. I want, let's see, which chapter would that be? Good enough manifesting. Chapter 5. Chapter 5 to be retitled Law of Attention. The essence. This is the positioning. You're always becoming where your attention is right now. So by changing your subconscious, you're simultaneously changing your attention. And therefore, what automatically manifests. And right here, y'all, I mean, if you're just watching this, I'm giving you a fucking master class on how to build your mechanism and deeper core for a ClickBank VSL. With this information right here, I can beat every manifestation VSL on ClickBank. And I've done it. So I'm not guessing. Not gonna do it because I don't want to make ClickBank any richer, and I do not want to support that platform. I think it needs to be held accountable for the horrible things that it has done to direct response marketing, advertising, the cost of advertising for people who have amazing solutions that are fighting against these non-solutions for CPMs and CPA. It's just fucking ridiculous. All right. I'm babbling. So we got chapter 5. Otherwise, I'd love to see each chapter fleshed out to about 5 pages long each. Please do not skimp. Like additionally, I want you to add action steps for how we can redirect our attention. For instance, emotional charges are something people feel in their gut. They're second brain when what's happening in reality contrasts your subconscious beliefs. Like when a price tag triggers your it's too much, I don't have enough stories. When you acknowledge these emotional charges as they come up, you take your power back from the circumstances and can easily pop new circumstances in with your shifting attention. The binaurals help accelerate this process. Hold on one sec. And I'm back. All right. So now let's see. I want an exercise developed out of this, and exercises like it to help people on their manifestation journey. And more importantly, realizing that manifesting is all we do. By changing the subconscious, you change what you manifest. Now go. So right here, you're seeing what I go through to prompt and reprompt the GPT to start developing a product that I feel amazing about. I could already tell my 5 pages that I told it to write, yeah, didn't happen. So we're gonna let it, work its way through, and then we're gonna reprompt it until we get something that is bulked up like this. It takes like a half hour to get done fully, so I'm not gonna do it right here. It could take shorter, could take a little longer. But developing the product is super easy, as you can see. So but I did my 80%. Now I can do that in relationships, health, what in health? Um, Insulin resistance of the brain, type 3 diabetes. I can talk about it. I'm not selling a supplement. So this is hi, you could do this for people you want to publish, basically interview them with this in mind, feed the GP that. Yeah, absolutely. You can absolutely do that. I'm not going to say your name, Mladen. I sound ignorant. But yeah, thank you. And there's two people here. Obviously, I just put this up, and I'm um, thanks for being here. Anyway, so now let's say you want an ebook in that diabetic, type 3 diabetic. Talk about how sugar has only been introduced like we eat since the 1960s, and it's gotten worse since the 1980s with ultra processed foods, and worse and worse and worse with shelf stabilization chemicals, what they're doing to our brain, what they're doing to our second brain, the gut. If you have a permeable, not a healthy permeable gut, sugar won't spike the blood. If it's hyperpermeable, leaky gut, it spikes the blood. Sugar spikes the blood. That's the beginning of insulin resistance. And that's also what causes insulin resistance in the brain. Remember, the brain needs the most glucose for the most now energy. So that's why we eat sugar, for the brain. But the brain can soak in glucose and become insulin resistant. And that leads to Alzheimer's, dementia. And this is happening more and more. Obesity. People were studied. Obese people were studied because it was so rare. And today it's over 50% of the American population. So there's a lot to talk about. I'm going to drop some knowledge right here. Here's a heuristic puzzle piece that I've never talked about: conspiracy, smoking gun. Where's the conspiracy to confirm bias? I knew it. Like when I told people avobenzone, the number one SPF ingredient, degrades and becomes as or more toxic to aged skin than the sun, the UV rays it's supposed to protect you from. And then the FDA no longer considers it safe and effective because the sunscreen companies were asked to provide information that said it is safe and effective, and none of them did. Twice that happened, nothing. Smoking gun. So, conspiracy, smoking gun. What is really going on with our food supply? There are many smoking guns that you can confirm bias, many conspiracies. And remember, just between you and me, the term conspiracy theory was created in the Warren Report to clean up the JFK assassination, the biggest bunch of fiction since the Bible. The biggest bunch of fiction since the fucking Bible. And they came up with the term conspiracy theorists for anybody who went against what they said happened, which includes the magic bullet theory. In fact, everything is contingent on the Warren Report to be true on the magic bullet. That one bullet did multiple things, went through multiple people's flesh and bone, and then popped up on the gurney at Parkland Hospital in Dallas, Texas, unscathed. Anybody who's ever shot a gun into even water knows that's not going to ever fucking happen. Conspiracy, smoking gun. The McGovern report from 1978. That's a smoking gun on why our food supply is what it is today. Or I can cite Reagan. He did a bunch of evil shit. Headline: How Ronald Reagan poisoned your kids with food-like substances. Easy, right? So what are we doing here? What are we talking about? We're talking about providing value. We're talking about creating products that get to the heart of the conspiracy and expose the smoking gun and what to really do. That's what I'm doing in the ebook that I was just building right live in front of you, right? And then you can go over here and, start building out your website. How wearing your headphones clears your limiting beliefs and makes manifesting easier. I didn't say specifically what and how long. That's what she said. So we're in compliance, right? And then I get my video or, something, a different type of real estate, maybe just with a picture and some bullets showcasing. And then, why your subconscious chooses whether you're rich or poor, right? So now the second section is going to have more gravitas, getting to the deeper core of why this is happening. And, I can go back, I can, add content. Let's say I want to put in some sort of feature, right? All you need is 7 hertz. This is the frequency, the abundance frequency. Boom. Now I just gave it a name and blah, 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 right? Down the page would go. And now I'm charging, let's say $7. let's say $8. I love charging things that either add up to 8 or are directly 8. Why? It's a number of unlimited infinity abundance. So it's $8, all for $8. Submit your email, credit card, boom. They get it in their email. We give it to them on their thank you page. Please bookmark. Now we have had an exchange of energy. Now you can do other things, obviously, on the upsells, and I'm not going to go into that right now. But there's just like any escalating funnel, you can start with a low ticket offer and end up with manifestation coaching, group coaching, $500 a seat, 100 seats, or let's see, this takes 1,000 chairs. This stream yard will take 1,000 seats, so I can sell 1,000 seats to my manifestation video teaching you how to create your own binaural beats every single day and never ever ever worry about money again. How and why? But I didn't say I would go down that road. My objective here is to self-liquidate my traffic so that I'm not losing money, which means that I need to know how to convert. Okay, so now you can start with a $500 budget, take that $500 budget, convert your $8 ebook, build your list, get it scaling, start giving away lots of content, start training your pixel to super serve so that you can get 3, 4, 5, 6% more conversion rate, so that you can be converting 1 out of every 5 clicks. That's a metric that I measure a lot. How many impressions and clicks went by without a purchase? If I'm over 10 clicks without a purchase, I want to clean that up. So now I can start scaling, doubling. Now I'm building my list. Now, let's say you run for a few weeks. All right. Now you got maybe some money coming and maybe not. Maybe you're just self liquidating. But now you've got a couple hundred people more. And you can start doing some micro tests on that list. Start nurturing that list. Start getting into the habit of what nurturing a list is on a daily basis, just like if you were an offer owner for anything. Now, as you get to over, let's say, 2000, you can start renting it out to have small sample size tests, right? Get people moving, get some data coming in, and you're not charging anything for it. You're wanting people to run to get the data as you keep building the list. Once you're over 10,000, it's off to the races. You can start making a lot of money on that list, especially if you go after a lot of high end offers where you have a piece of the pie. And you can set your deals on your lists because you're curating them, you're nurturing them, you're running high end offers on them or extremely valuable offers on them, regardless of low ticket, high ticket. And I can do this. I can have this all set up and going for multiple offers, multiple ebooks, guides, binaural beats, digital downloads, free webinars, or a $7 webinar, how to do this. I can charge to watch this webinar now that I've recorded it. So there's so many ways to achieve this and do it guerrilla marketing style and create lots and lots and lots of content. Open up your TikTok, create a TikTok account or buy a TikTok account that you can go live on and start putting content on there every single day. Content. You're not selling, you're giving. Link in bio. So you're giving and you're selling. By the value you're offering, people want to give back. But over time, your videos get more and more traction. Yeah, you'll start off 100, 200, 700, sometimes 1,000. Then you get over 6,000. Then you get over 50, 250,000. Ella's videos right now are commonly doing over 250,000 views, going viral, at the low end. and making a lot of money. And it's all content. It's all sweat equity, so to speak. Not out of pocket money, time equity. And making sure that the work you do, the time you spend on that work, works hard for you. This is how you do it. Tell me when I'm telling lies. You're the one who's lying. You're the one who's lying. So I'm gonna end it there with that shitty thing that like Jessica Day does on The New Girl. And if you have any questions, put them in the chat or the comments. And there are a few seats available for the next mastermind starting on the 15th, which is in 6 days. So get your seat now because I am going to close it. All right. Cheers.